Bienvenidos a un nuevo podcast de EF Hello. Hoy tenemos a un invitado muy especial al podcast. Esta persona tampoco habla en español, por lo que vamos a tener que hacerlo en inglés. Pero creo que va a ser uno de los podcasts que más nos va a enriquecer porque realmente toda su experiencia y todo el background que tiene detrás creo que va a ser muy interesante la conversación que vamos a poder tener durante este rato. Así que nada, voy a presentar quién tenemos aquí hoy, que su nombre es Jacob Torén. So, welcome to the podcast. Today is our global president at EF, if I'm not wrong. And we will be talking about your career around EF. Which is your vision? Where do you think it's gonna go language in the future? And I don't know, maybe we can take some tips from you also. How do you see Spanish market evolution? Many things, I think. Also, personal life. How do you balance this?
We will have a lot to talk about.
So welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much to be here with us today. And I don't know, maybe you can present yourself.
Of course.
Because I do this introduction, but maybe you will do it better than me.
Let's see. So my name is Jacob. I started my career with EF in Switzerland. Then I had the chance to move to Hong Kong. Moved there together with my wife and our newborn baby. And we spent 4 years in Hong Kong. During that time, I was working with EF's local schools to learn English close to where you live. It's a business that we grew very, very big, especially in Asia, which made me relocate to Shanghai, where we spent many years and grew the business a lot. So we had children from the age of 4 that came to our school once a week, and it became very big. So we had over 200,000 students every week in our schools. Amazing project. And I think I've been very fortunate to spend part of my working life based in Hong Kong and Shanghai and see this amazing part of the world. Now I'm based in Zurich, and as you said, I'm in charge of EF's language abroad business, where we help our students to travel to other markets and learn languages.
Good introduction. So let's move to the beginnings, okay? Which was your first role at EF? How do you land at EF? Why you decide to start working at EF?
EF, I'm from Sweden. I've always known about EF. I've always thought that it's an interesting company in the way that it helps people to explore the world, learn languages. I have always been interested in marketing. Before I came to EF, I ran my own business. And I came to an interview with EF, and the person who interviewed me said, "But Jacob, you know nothing about this industry. You don't know this company." But I was offered a role in marketing. So I did marketing support for European markets. And it was a lot of fun.
Yes, I didn't know that you started at marketing.
Absolutely. So at this time, it was before when search, which was called pay-per-click advertising at that time, became big. And Google, I mean, this is not denied and not confirmed, but everyone knows what they did before they had their stock introduction was basically that they erased all the company's position in SEO. And then everyone got alarmed, and then we, like everyone else, saw, oh, look, there is an ad you can pay for here. And we did. And this quickly became a big part of our business. So very exciting times. Then I met with our founder. One day I was called. Bertil Hult, who founded EF in 1965, has been an amazing businessman, visionary and able to recruit great people and grow a business worldwide, starting from Sweden. I had a chance to meet with him, and we discussed for a couple of hours, and then he said, "Jacob, I think you should relocate to Hong Kong and work with our schools where students learn English locally where they live. So I said, I'll think about it and I call you tomorrow. But my wife and I, we are expecting our first child in a week from now. And he said, oh, congratulations. But call me tomorrow. And then as I walked out, he said, but remember, there are some trains in life that you should not miss. This is one of them. So I came home, I told my wife, and as it was a week before we had our first child, that was our focus in life. And she just slowly sank down to the floor and then started crying. And then we had a tough evening to discuss this. She's always pushed a lot for her career as well, but of course she had planned to be off for a time. In the middle of the night, she's like, Jacob, wake up. I'm like, okay. My head is spinning. I have to focus on giving birth to our child. This time you make the decision. And then she fell asleep. And then I was awake and my head was spinning.
And then you were going around, no? The room, thinking about what
I was just laying in bed, looking at the ceiling. Okay, what's the right decision? But of course, I called Bertil the next day and I said we would be very happy to come. So our daughter Alice, she was born, and then I moved immediately after. My wife and daughter came a few weeks later, and we had 4 amazing years in Hong Kong. Then the decision to move to Shanghai, and in Hong Kong our second daughter was born, and then I was traveling so much. I opened my passport one day and I could see I think I had in 22 months I had 2 weeks without travel.
Yeah.
And then you have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and that's not great for balance in life. And then I had a discussion with Philip, who is our chairman of the board in EF now, that I was reporting to at that time. And I said, Philip, I think it would be more successful if we set up a hub for this business in Shanghai instead of Hong Kong. Because in Shanghai we had many schools, in Beijing, and it will be better to be closer to the business. And then he looked at me and he said, okay. And then I wondered, why didn't I come up with this idea 2 years ago instead? So we moved with the family to Shanghai. We had our third daughter, Linnea, was born there. And it became a very expensive time for this business. So we went from having a few hundred employees to over 10,000 in China. About 40% of them were teachers. Half of the teachers were teachers from China, English teachers from China, and half of them were teachers that we brought from abroad. So every young student, as I said before, from the age of 4 up to the age of to lower teens, they would learn with us once or twice a week.
And which was really the challenge, because I think you were running a different kind of business in China, no?
Mm.
So can you explain us?
The challenge?
Yes, the big challenge.
I mean,
when they came to you and they say, do you have to run this in China? That is something, I suppose, very different in terms of business, no?
I mean, a huge challenge. I was 31. I didn't have a lot of experience of the world. But EF, Bertil, and his sons running the business now, they have always invested in young people that they believe in. I think this is a beautiful part of the EF culture and our heritage. Then you get a lot of help as well, but they have always dared to make big decisions and invest in people that they think are able. And then and this has really brought the company forward. For the past 60 years, it's been part of the success. For me, it was very tough. The business was not doing well when I moved there. We had a network of partners in China, franchisee partners. They had chosen EF for the name, but they had also chosen EF because they believed that we could recruit great teachers for them. But at this time, this was the last pandemic. So we had just gone through SARS. And of course, no foreigners wanted to come to China at that time. And that led to a lot of problems between us and our franchisees. And then I traveled around China trying to convince these franchisees that we now had a plan for the future. And what I thought would take 2 years, the board of the company wanted to take 1 year. It ended up taking 5 years.
Yeah, well, I suppose, no? Because also China is, no, the culture and everything is not the same in Europe, I suppose, no? To move there around and these things, I suppose is...
It is. A lot of things are of course different, but a lot of things are very similar. I mean, the basic, many of the basic values in life and the logic for how you reason, they can be slightly different, but a lot of that is also universal, right? If you ask a person in China and you compare people from Beijing, from Guangzhou, from Shanghai, from Chongqing, they're like, oh, it's all different.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same in Spain.
No,
right?
Yes, it's not the same. Somebody from the north, from the south, from Catalonia, from Madrid.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still, there are basic values that unite us all, and going back to that is very helpful. Then it's like running a business anywhere. It's the team that you have around you, and I was fortunate to find great people that I worked with for many years. Many of them are still there running that business today. Without that, we couldn't have got anything done.
Yeah. And what do you highlight the most from the project?
Do
you think which was the big success?
The people, the team, absolutely. The team. Yeah. And then what we managed to achieve was a business that parents would recommend other parents, students would stay for a long time. Our biggest challenge was that when students in China become teenagers around the age of 11, 12, they don't have time for this any longer, then they do test preparation, which is very similar to the US market. And then it's just to see how can I get help to do better on the test that I would have in school.
Okay. So now that you are talking about people, how do you define your leadership?
My leadership?
Yes. What do you think is the most important and what?
So I am quite good at, you divide leadership in different situations. One of them is giving full responsibility to someone else. I'm very good at that. Then you divide situational leadership from S1 to S4. So S1 is full leadership and S4 is when you sit next to someone and you look at the details together. Those are my two strong areas.
So you can be in the both sides?
No, but only in the two extremes of the both sides. Okay. I am good. Then what you call S2, S3 in the middle, which is more growing people and sort of holding someone's hand until they can then take the next step. I need people around me who are better than me at that. Yeah.
And what do you appreciate the most from people you have around working with you?
Trust, of course, is crucial. Already, if I interview someone, I will say, be open with yourself. And if I see that they are not open with both their strengths and their weaknesses, it will be, the interview will end right there. I think no one is perfect. And you need to surround yourself with people who know what they're good at, but they also are aware of what they're not good at. Otherwise, they will not ask for help. But then the most important thing is that we always strive to find people that are better than us or have the chance to become better than us. In many parts of the world, people surround themselves with people who will not threaten them, right? They cannot challenge them on the same level. But if we can continue to recruit the very best people here in Spain, we will have people who can bring this business forward in the future. And when we can grow people from within the company, it's so much more powerful. And we need to bring in some of the best people from the outside too. But we have so many examples of people who have started as a teacher or they started recruiting students in the market for us, and today they are a country manager. Or they are running a whole region for us, operating our schools and campuses, for example.
Yes, it's true, because I just learned 1 year and a half before. And this is something that I really highlight from EF.
Yeah.
That people, if they want, they can do really a career inside the company, no? Because you can see it in many positions, people that maybe it's at the company since 15 years and moving around the world if they want, and also moving from one position to another.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's also, if I go back to why I was so inspired by EF when I was starting my career with the company, and even before, it was because I knew it could lead me to an international career. That was one, and the second one is that you can get a lot of responsibility. And then I've always loved consumer products and marketing. I think it's more fun. It's the area where I want to be.
So which advice you give to somebody that is listening to us that wants to do an international career?
Come to EF.
Come to EF?
No, come to EF and try to have a goal that that really inspires you. This is what I say to people that we recruit as well. Like have a goal in your picture, something in your mind, like a sports person would do. I mean, you've been a tennis player, right?
Yeah.
Many sports people, they picture themselves at the goal with the gold medal hanging around their neck at the top of the podium. And they do that because it's a strategy that works. It helps you to go through all the pain and the suffering in order to get there. And I think it's very similar in work life, and in life in general, I have to say. If we have goals, it helps us focus, and it helps us not worry so much about everything else, because you know that you have a goal that is important to you. And in work life also, it's not always a straight line. And even though we are a company where we give people the chance to excel and take responsibility quickly, you might not see that during your first year with the company. And with the generation growing up now,
the young people today has no this passion. Maybe
I think we have to adjust in how we run business in order to attract and keep the great talent that we have, which is why we have implemented now for language, for EF language here in Spain and for all the markets where we operate, we have something that we call a career ladder, where we outline to someone that joins the company, where it's clear that you don't only have the chance to get a promotion one time per year, we do it every 6 months during the first 3 years. And this was actually something that we implemented both with teachers and with people recruiting students for our business in China. We implemented this. We've done it for EF's businesses in the US, and we're doing it here in Spain now today. And I think it's good, because you need to see the next step. If you have the goal in your mind and you can see the next step, and you see, here, I didn't go the way that I hoped, then you can adjust. It will help you reach something bigger.
And you have been leading around the world, or also because you are traveling a lot and you are visiting many countries around. What you can tell us about leading a team in Asia, not China, this multicultural vision?
I think it's for me and my wife, for our children, it's been an amazing adventure to be out in the world. In terms of work, it's the same basics that apply regardless where you go. If you find great people, you can climb mountains that you think are impossible to climb. Without a great team, you can't do anything alone.
But you find difference between, I don't know, Latins that you are going, or ASEAN? Or
of course, it's different.
It's different.
But what unifies us all, it's like, look at your team. You have an amazing team that you built here in Barcelona, right? How much you get done now versus when you joined the company, and it's just a different world. So this fact we sometimes forget. that if we don't surround ourselves by great people who can complement us, who understand the local market that we are in, who speaks the language, who knows the culture and all the differences, we will make the wrong decisions. And this is what I think is so beautiful with EF as a brand as well, that we are always trying to take. We are a global brand. We have our core values, but we are also looking at what is the best of each culture that we go to. If you look at our schools that we operate around the world, they don't look the same. They are all based on what's unique about each local market. When we are building our new school in Malta now, which is going to be an amazing campus right down by the waterfront, the limestones that the whole old town and all the houses are built by in Malta that get this pink patina over time, it's a theme throughout the school. You take any campus where we are in the world, it goes down to sort of the local values, the local traditions, artifacts, and how we can integrate them into our environment. And I think we are a crazy company. If you look at how much we invest in our campuses, and it goes back to that, the family, the Hult family, especially Philip, who's very interested in architecture, he enjoys it. And now we have a team. Fiona Kennedy runs a team of architects and interior design in London, and they do an amazing job.
So if I ask you, I'm a mother from Spain.
Yeah.
Okay. So why I need to choose EF?
How old are your children?
12 and 10. The 12th one is going to travel this year.
Where to?
To York.
Oh, that's an amazing school. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that your son?
No.
This is your daughter?
Daughter.
Yeah. I think she will have an amazing time there.
Yes.
What are you worried about, or what do you think Spanish parents are concerned about before sending their child abroad?
Which is the difference that why, as a mother, I will choose EF instead of another competitor? What do you think is the difference from EF versus the other ones?
But I can talk a long time about why we are better than competition.
Highlight. I have it very clear, but for sure you will do it better than me.
No, I think if you decide to go with EF, usually it's because it goes back to one of the things that is unique about us. There are many companies that are great, but what is unique about EF is that, first of all, we've been around for a very long time. Then we have our own offices in all the markets where we operate, but we also have our own schools. So since we have our own campuses that we operated for a long time, we can guarantee the quality from start to finish. We have our own flights teams. We have our own accommodation team that recruits homestay families and our residences. And we have our own activity teams on 50 destinations in the world that arrange amazing activity. If you go into any of our schools, we can go into our campus here in Barcelona later today, where students come from across the world to learn Spanish. You look at the wall, you look at the apps that they have every month, they have maybe 40, 50 activities to choose from. And learning doesn't stop in the classroom. Practicing what you learned starts when you take your first step outside of the classroom, right? We want to give our students the confidence, no matter if they master a language fully or they are still learning a language, the confidence to stand on a stage and express themselves to the world. So we are a little bit different from other companies in that, and in these activities that we arrange, which could be, I don't know, learning how to make soba noodles in Tokyo, or learning how to sing K-pop in Seoul, or learning how to cook an Italian meal. These are the type of activities. So we bring in
how you introduce the language.
The students are there, and suddenly they're in this mix and match, and they're working together on something, and they have to use the language. This is the beauty of why you would send your daughter to EF. And then you can feel safe. We've done this for a long time.
So send your kids with EF.
Yeah, but this is our job. This is what we do. But what do you think Spanish parents are worried about? Because the world has changed a lot in the last since they were young. What is different today?
Yes, that today, parents are really connect with the kids. It has changed a lot, this business right now, because now kids are going there with mobiles, they are in contact all the time. So how important is, for us, all this experience during this process, because, if not at the moment, they will call the parents and say, I'm bad. This before it was not happening, I was traveling with EF when I was young, and also my brother. And I remember, my parents, okay, you go with EF and they believe, and that's all. Now, and maybe they don't know nothing, maybe they send a postcard and that's all,
Yeah,
and today this has changed a lot,
I think what has changed is both the perception among young people and the perception among their parents, right? We are much more careful as parents today than our parents were with us when we were young. And this is good and bad. The good thing, of course, is that we feel that we have control, but sometimes we worry too much. And when we don't let go of the control, we delay the time that it will take until our children become more confident to take care of themselves. And I remember my 13-year-old, she was going away a couple of summers ago, and then she was so sad, and she thought it was too long. It was 3 weeks, and she wanted it to be 1 week instead. And she said, I will not manage. She travels, and she doesn't call. And she doesn't call. And she doesn't call. And one day we get a phone call, and my wife is like, yes, it's Linnea. She answers, and she's like, oh, sorry, Mom, it's a pocket call. Bye-bye. And she hangs up. And then she comes home, and she was sad that it wasn't even a longer trip than it was.
Yeah. Well, my daughter is telling me, I don't want to bring any mobile with me, because if not, I will talk to you and I will be sad then. Yeah. So I prefer not to be in contact with you.
So will you send the mobile phone with her?
No, I don't think so.
No, and it's also for young people, it's very important to get away from the normal routines. It's important to get away from the screen.
Well, we have some psychologists also that was talking here at the podcast also with us.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that she was highlighting also is this process, of what you were describing, that at the end is, at the beginning is, I'm very scared to go, these feelings. And maybe the first day they are crying because they don't know nothing, but don't worry, because after 2 days, 3 days, then they start to enjoy the experience, and at some point they forget about you, But it's important for the parents that be patient also, because at some point, because we are really connect with them every day and every hour right now, it's like, oh, my kid arrived there and he's crying, he doesn't like, and very fast they are calling us, and so I think this is something that the parents has to be slowly more. Don't worry, your kid will be good.
I think that's okay, and it's our part. It's our job to keep parents feel safe and good. But what I am worried about is when parents don't dare to let their children experience things because they are worried about what will happen. And then I always urge parents that I talk with, think about when you were young. Think about the things that has defined you as a person when you were able to take the first steps in life, where you explored things yourself as a teenager. That has changed. For many of us, it has changed our lives. I mean, I remember when my parents allowed me and my best friend to go sailing alone, because my parents loved sailing, my best friend's parents, they loved sailing. And one summer or one winter we came and said, listen, next summer we really look forward to sailing, but we would like to sail alone. My parents said absolutely no. And my friends, and they said, then you have to take a certificate. And my friend's parents said, then you have to fix the boat. So every Thursday we went for a class. We were 13-year-old. We went for a class to take the certificate. And every weekend for at least 15 weekends during the winter, we spent Saturday and Sunday fixing my friend's parents' boat. And then summer came, we had our certificates, and we left. It has definitely changed me as a person. But so as a parent, you have to dare to sort of give your children the...
Me too, when I was traveling, because of when I was playing tennis, I remember I was traveling alone, you know, and of course today I'm this Gemma because all of these situations that maybe I passed alone also, no? And you try to solve alone and also make you grow also. No? So let's move to another topic right now. And how do you see the future about language, this industry? Where do you think it's gonna go?
So we see clear signs already. When I talk with a 16-year-old teenager traveling with us, or I talk with a 72-year-old traveling with us, the 16-year-old might go to Seoul or Tokyo or New York. The 72-year-old might go to Italy. But what's unite them is that the language is very important. But the language is important to fulfill something that is missing in your life. We see this among young people, we see it in older people. If I look back, in the past, it was more connected only to the language. Now, the desire to learn a language, it fulfills us as people. We want to be able to communicate in a real way with other people. And it's not strange, given where the world is moving. I mean, we're connected with AI. We use AI for almost everything. It's almost like, what am I going to wear today? Or should I brush my teeth before or after I drink this glass of orange juice? We check everything with AI. And it is a little bit scary in the same way that COVID was scary. When we locked ourselves into our homes, it's now proven. We can work from home, we can order everything we need from home, we can sleep, we can eat, we communicate with our friends. Now the same thing is happening with AI. But if you're not careful, your best friend will soon be your AI, right?
Totally.
So I think the need to do what we do to connect people from different parts of the world for real learning, learning to communicate with other people, this will continue to be enormously important to fulfill ourselves. Then the technology, we invest a lot in technology in EF, in new learning tools for our students. That is fantastic. So I think the good part is that AI will help us fix a lot of the problems that we have in the world, helping people to live longer, fixing the energy problem of the world. Then there are other bad things that it can lead to as well. But for us to learn things, to start to learn new languages, the barrier will be lower. And that is great. But just like COVID proved that we need to leave our homes, we need to see nature to feel fulfilled, people will still need to connect. People will still want to learn languages to feel fulfilled.
Exactly.
So I have a
it's
bright...
It's important, this experience, I think.
I have a bright...
Experience is giving you a plus that for sure from home you can learn.
Yeah.
And this is something that we were discussing also during the EPI results because we were in a round table.
Okay.
And in this round table we bring manpower.
What is the EPI? Maybe you want to explain.
No, but it was really curious that the person coming from Manpower was saying that on the paper, right now in Spain, we are not really bad in terms of the level of English. But at some point when they are doing these interviews and they start to do, okay, let's move, let's change from a Spanish interview to an English, okay? On the paper, they are having an advanced level, maybe, you know? But then when they start to speak, it's what he was saying that the level is quite low.
No, and it's not only Spain. The EPI, for the people listening who don't know what it is, it's based on the EF-SET English test, F-SET. It's the world's largest English test, and we take that and we make the EPI English Proficiency Index for the world, where we rank different countries, right? And Spain is not at the top in Europe, we can say.
No, in Europe, no.
No. And that's, of course, a huge opportunity for Spain to climb. And as you say, many people know the language, but they can't use it. And what happened during COVID in Spain and in other countries in Europe is that we had to lock ourselves into our homes. We had to learn from home. We worked from home. And this took this, you could call it experiment on the world, took a bigger toll on women. And it took a bigger toll on teenagers. So we can see for Spain, just like for many other countries in Europe, that women's English ability has, for the first time in 15 years, has gone down below men. Now it's up a little bit, so but it's never happened before. And the other thing that happened is that we saw the English level from teenagers deteriorating.
Yes, it's the same results here in Spain. The API is reflecting what you are saying.
Yeah.
The youngest one is the ones that they are having the less level of English. So the ones that are going out from schools today.
But that shows how important it is that we help our children, teenagers, both high school, university students. It's great to expand your competitiveness and your skills and abilities for the future, to learn not only a second language, but a third language as well. But we can also see that it's correlated with being able to live a happier life when you can communicate with people around the world.
And how important is technology right now at EF?
For us, we are investing like everyone else. We have a great app that our students use, and we are looking how we can update that all the time. We are looking how we can bring more technology into our classroom without changing that. The magic happens when students meet a teacher. But all of the admin tasks that we are, of course, looking like all other companies, like how can we get more time from our teachers to teach and less time doing admin. People that work with services in our offices, it's the same thing. How can we ensure that our students have the information that they need on their fingertips?
And how you decide which project is more important versus another one in terms of technology?
I have a great team around me that will question everything that I think of. And just like we did in our meeting yesterday. And then I listen, but then we also, for the things that we decide to do, we push, and we really set targets that are very difficult to achieve. If we don't do this, we will not be fast enough.
And about AI, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so we discussed it a little bit. I am worried for mankind. Not in the sense that the robots will take over. I'm worried for mankind in the sense that how we will live our lives in a way that makes us happy and fulfilled, and not live a life where we let AI control us in the sense that thinking for us. For us as a company, I think it's an enormous opportunity that we have for students to learn more, and for running all the processes that we have in a more efficient way.
So something that surprised me a lot when I landed at EF is this spirit that we are having at this company. That is like every day is like we enjoy a lot at the company, really, no? So tell me how you describe this DNA of EF. Explain to our audience this, because I have been working in many companies, and for me, this is something that is magic, really.
It's our core values. You could call it our secret sauce. You could say, well, this goes back to how Bertil founded this company when he started it. We live so much time of our lives working, right? So it's important to enjoy it also. No matter how tough goals we have ahead of us, it's important to also have some fun while we strive to achieve these goals. And the way that what has been so successful for EF, I think anyone you ask why they love working for this company, it's the people. We managed to attract people with the mindset that they want to explore the unknown. They want to achieve things that no one else has achieved before. But we do it in teamwork. It's not individual achievements. So somehow our core values have made us a unique company. But it's also strange, right? When I joined the EF, I remember my first week with the company, and I looked at the country manager from Italy and from Germany, and I looked at some of the people working in Switzerland who've been with the company for more than 20 years. And I was like, absolutely never. That it's great for them that they did that. I could never do that.
I was really
surprised. But now we sit here.
But it happened to me the same. You know, when I landed at the EF, it was like, what is this? This is so different. It is a
bit odd.
Yeah.
But I think there are two things that happen. Some people, they join and they have new challenges all the time, and they just keep going.
It's true.
And then after maybe 8 years or 10 years, they're like, oh no, I don't want this any longer. I don't want this change. And then maybe they leave the company. Sometimes they come back a few years later.
The boomerangs that we are saying.
Boomerangs,
normally.
exactly. But it is unique to have an environment where you can change so much. And for me, I really had time to think about it. And I think it's first of all, that you can work with something that helps make the world a little bit better. I mean, that's really what we strive to do. I know it's small, but within education, within language learning, helping people understand cultures across the world, we actually believe we helped make the world a little bit better, and we're proud of that. That's one thing. The second thing is the culture, and the third one is the people. And not only people working in the company, but also the people behind the company. I think it's very tough to find a product that you can fall in love with, a culture that you fit into, and you actually work with the owner family that have a very long-term mindset, that wants the best for our students, and that I think most of the people that I work with look up to and respect. Not so easy to find in today's world.
No, but it's true that, as I told you, I have been working in many companies, and of course you need to know yourself, because at the end, when you land at the EF, it's a company that is really fast everything. If you want to change things, you can do it also. So it's not this kind of company that everything is really processed. This is a process, a very long, to change something, it's going to take 1 year, 2 years. So it's having this speed.
We try to remain with the mindset of a small company, although we are
it's like
a
that.
large
It
company.
looks like a startup, but it's very big. So yes. So let's finish with a personal closing. Okay. I will ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
And then we will do what we say the ping pong. Close. Okay. So what motivates you the most in your role today?
The people around me.
Okay. What legacy would you like to leave?
I want my children and their children to be proud of what we do with the world.
Is there a quote or idea that summarize your philosophy on leadership or life?
Yeah, try to recruit people who are better than you. Even if they don't have the experience yet, people who can become.
Okay, these were the 3 questions, personal questions. And now we will do the quick ping pong that normally we are doing this closing. Okay, and I will tell you a sentence, and you need to put the final word. Yes? Okay.
In Spanish.
Well, if you can do it in Spanish, perfect. If not, we will continue in English.
Okay.
So, a country that changed you the most.
China.
Very easy, this one. A must-read book. A must-read.
From good to great. It's old, but it's really good.
A daily habit.
I work out every morning. I don't lift weights so much that I do sometimes, but I do core exercises every morning. And I've done it in the past year. I don't think I've skipped more than 7 days.
A mistake that taught you the most?
I think when we have, I have 3 daughters. They're now 16, 19, and 21, right? So we've had some fair share of fights at home. But now, only the youngest one is still living at home. And whenever we have an argument now, it's tough for her because I enjoy it so much. I know she will only be there for another 1.5 years, then she will move away, and I treasure every single day. So what used maybe to make me upset, I am now serene with a smile on my face, and it's driving her mad.
Okay. Very nice answer, this one. So thank you very much, Jacob, to be here with us. It has been a pleasure to have you here at the podcast.
Thank
you. I think you give us many tips, and you explain your experience and everything around. And I think for the audience, it's going to be amazing.
It shows your background as a journalist, Gemma.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.